Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one I'm very excited to announce we have Dr. Mundo, who, just got reworked and looks glorious, and the Mundoverse Gym Mundo makes me want to cosplay that quite a lot actually. But he's not performing the best in the jungle, so I had some time to really look for, a game that kind of represented his power curve, or at least showed you what he could do. So we have a longer game, to go over in this one. It's not Challenger either. I do like to usually go to Cuz or Canyon or someone who knows how to jungle, understands how to read tooltips, and then you can basically see them limit test it. That word's going under a bit of scrutiny at the moment, but we know what that means here. Nonetheless, we should have a good jungle experience, and we can basically talk about him as we go through it. In terms of itemization, runes on your screen are obviously fleet footwork for the jungle. Hello, Camille. She's not going to check. She's just... there we go. Gragas is also showing up. So the delayed invade, as you saw, they invaded bottom lane. Mundo level 1 with the cleaver is still actually hilarious. I know people have gone E level 1 as well, but the cleaver is just so good for invades. Basically, you want to make sure you don't have vision and you get the smite off here, so yeah, they're fine. This is going to ruin the Gragas' game, so we can talk from the Gragas' perspective as well. The Mundo here going with the E after the Q, so he can basically mow down these babies. Keep hitting them with your cleaver as well. Just to read the tooltips while he does this, the Gragas should, go on his merry way down here. He might do blue Gromp, heal up nicely, and if the Mundo decides to go to his blue, then Gragas will have vertical jungling. So normally, what you actually want to do in these situations is immediately go defend your red. Now, a Rengar player, as we talked about in other versions, would do this, but Mundo's obviously not Rengar, but I think he's going to do it anyway. He's still strong, so while he does that, remember, when you get immobilized, that gives you that healing sack that falls on the ground, his bulbous bunch of med pack. You can absorb that to gain some HP. He's just checking that the Gragas isn't on it at the moment. He wants to wait for his smite to do it. I think that's prudent, but Bard's obviously going to rotate. So you have to pay attention to the chaos here. This is actually kind of nice because Mundo's first clear, it always historically, he got low, and if people invaded and made examples out of him, it was pretty much the only way you could stop him, because if you didn't, then what happens is you died. Now, this is what I'm talking about here with the passive, so it's actually really good that this happens. The Bard goes on a random invade, right? Let's get them on. When he hits the spell, there we go. You see this over here? Boom. Nice healing sack that should be on the ground, but he doesn't go pick it up. That is because when you get immobilized, it spawns it. And it does have a cooldown, right? You're not permanently immobilized. It's very important to contextualize. People were thinking he'd be just giga unstoppable forever. So he's given up the red buff here, and I'm kind of conflicted because straight up that the Gragas had no choice but to do these things. He would 100% get this, which means he has prior on ganking mid lane at the moment, and you don't even have level 3. So I feel like, yes, this is a great secure, but if he does gank this, which I think he does, I haven't seen, there you go. Now he's going to go straight to the top grab. He's going to push this and go straight to the top grab. So what the Mundo doesn't want to do is trap this. I think you should go straight for your blue, straight for your Gromp. Pay attention to where the Gragas parts, and if you have a ward, you can use it. Obviously, he doesn't. Now, I don't want to sit in this bush. There is no reason for you to sit in this bush. You cannot face check this. Okay? He hits the cleaver, he hits the E, he can activate his W, which gives you gray health. Alright? And if you detonate it, recast it, or if it expires after 4 seconds, if it hits a champion, you get 100% of that gray health back. If you hit monsters, you only get 50%, so it kind of reduces your jungle sustain. However, that's not a good play. I mean, your monkey does monkey things and gets a cleanup, and the Vladimir kills the Gragas, so results-based thinking would say, haha, but logically, we shouldn't have gone for it. You can't guarantee your teammates are going to rotate in that situation. At the same time, Gragas and the Ahri overchased for this Mundo. So now we have Bombi Cinder completed, which is great, and we can stitch together these camps like everyone can, really. But just to talk a bit more about the abilities, as you can see, that costs 5% current HP. This is your E. It's exactly the same thing. Gives you attack damage and attack damage based on your missing HP. Press the active, it does basically the same thing as for the old one. Same thing for the infected Bone Soul, which is why this rework is so great, I feel. It's kind of like Fiddlesticks in that it's very, very similar. You know, the Fiddlesticks E was the biggest shift. You know, otherwise the Q and the W and the R, that's that's the same, right? And it's the same thing for the Mundo here. So I do like that aspect. And he looks fantastic. We talked about the passive, we talked about the W, the E, the R obviously is a little bit different, but you can still become unstoppable thanks to your juicy passive. It's also worth noting, likewise on the Q, that, you know, similar to the W, if you hit a champion, you'll get your full refund. You know, cost 50 HP to throw, you get 50 HP back. If you hit a monster, you get 25 HP back. So they've really hit the jungle sustain. They do not want him to run around turbo farming, obliterating everyone like he used to. But as you can see, with the W and Barmy Cinder, he's exploding the camps very, very easily. And that's a tier 2 Raptor camp. So now that we've got the Mundo discussion a little bit under our belts, we'll wait for the level 6 spike to actually observe how that plays out. Early dragons, you all curious? He can do them. Keep your W active, get great health, get some back, explode from... someone has shown in the river. A wild Brad appears, and Gragas is... They're just going straight for the bottom lane. They didn't even notice. Healer's used. Now mid has Prio, Mundo has Prio. She's still... Yumi. Mundo is going to follow up here. Hello, we'd like to... Oh, cleave it to the face. Just get infected. Or as he would think about it, good medicine. So this is good. This is, I think, when we talk about Mundo and we talk about what did the rework change about jungle, I think a lot of this is very, very similar. I do think the clear speed should be fine in terms of, you know, getting health back from abilities and so on. They've really gone out of their way to restrict that so that he's not super, super healthy. Because I feel like beyond the first clear, once you've gotten the Barmy Cinder and stuff like that, you should have no issue whatsoever. Don't really have much of an issue either way, but... Obviously, this is when things speed up, you know? Same with old Mundo. You do full clear very quickly, but you get low. And now, it just speeds up, it speeds up, it speeds up. The classic is still to max the cleaver toss into the E. That's what people are running overall on the stat side. Bard is roaming once again. And now just to talk about jungling, let's see what this guy can do. He's gonna go Frostfire. And of course, into the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. I do feel like there's less of a need for Merc Treads. But, you know, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on Mundo boots at this stage. I do think if you need Merc Treads, if you need plated steel caps, get them, you know? But Lucidity is always very nice in champions like Mundo and Volibear, and that's why we like them. Because we're inherently tanky, we have an immobilization feature in our kit, therefore we can accentuate another aspect of our existence with cooldowns. Or speed, if you like Swifties. So this is a 3-man gangbang on the top side. Now Gragas is going on deep invade. Mundo slaps a control ward over here. Gragas has not used his ult. Mundo gets 6, and he finishes his smite quest. Which is very important to note. There you go, see? He got stunned. There's the mushroom sack of healing. And he actually presses R as well. Sorry, I didn't have it on the Mundo. Let me restart that for you. So we lost track of the Mundo, but basically the ult will give him 20% missing HP back. It regenerates HP over time. It gives him bonus attack damage, as you can see, as well as 15% movement speed. So, right here, if you need to chase someone down relentlessly, and you have your mobilization passive up, not only do you get a healing satchel on the ground, you literally don't get stunned. And now, you know, wait a second. Ari? Okay, so. Mundo. It's still Mundo. Great. He just looks better. Has a bit more nuance to his kit. A few more things to think about when playing him. Boy, that's great. And you've got this this visual feature here that shows you his immobilization passive is up again. So this is exactly the kind of thing you are looking to do. If you get ahead through whatever means, whether it's a Fiesta early game, getting ganks off, farming well, securing a dragon, getting cleanup, and you're ahead and you find yourselves in these fights in the rivers, you're absolutely fine. The regeneration is absolutely great here. And obviously, remember, 2% max HP every 5 seconds. You're getting HP back. So with red buff, right, and that passive, and the jungle item, you should be perma healthy. And it should be super fast to farm here. Now, Gragas shows on the bottom side, he has tried, bless his heart, to impact this map. Mundo has shown some decent decision making. Now, we haven't talked as much about the jungle as I would have enjoyed, but I think here it's good to focus on the Mundo. And we've seen what he can do. And this is with the Ionian boots as well, because remember, that's like 18% CDR if you buy them out of the gate, you know, on your first back. He's over-chasing a little bit. Now, Mundo's going to go for this. And he knows he can beat him 1v1 at this stage. He does have a lot of gold. But look at that. Hey, buddy. You try to ult a Mundo. His passive was up. I mean, body slam. That's his ult. That's a dead Sivir. Let's observe. We have a Yuumi on us as well, which helps a lot. You can keep that W up, but yeah. Camille just comes in with some Cho'Gath. And then Yuumi dies because she deserves it, because it's a Yuumi. Wukong TP's in as well. I'm not sure what he's hoping to accomplish here. Did he just TP in with no mana? Why would he TP? You're useless. Right. There we go. Okay, Mundo out of the gates. Here we go. Yes. Enjoyable experience. He's actually gone for Sunfire, not for the Frostfire, so I apologize for that. The Frostfire into Warmogs is being seen on the rank 1 Mundo. Is it on Korea or EU West? But he's only played normals. So I had a bunch of mirror matchups and I didn't like that. If it was normal drafts, I actually would have looked at it anyway, just because I want to see like a really experienced Mundo pull it off. But at the same time, a Mundo is not meant to be something that takes you 100 games to get used to. Don't herald with a bar. If his ult's up, don't herald. He's going invading now. As he does, he goes where he pleases. Hello, sir. Have you heard the good news about the vaccine I can provide you? The vaccine for life. Whatever that means. Alright, so look, if you were concerned about not being able to do what you wanted in mobilization, don't be. Do not worry. Obviously, you can make these plays and still die. He's gonna die to the ignite now. That's fine though. You know, I think in this context, for this kind of game, you guys want to see this, right? You want to see a Mundo. He's so peaceful. You want to see a Mundo do these kind of things so you can see exactly what he can do. Fortunately, you know, it's not our games. And remember, please, do this with normals and flex queue. This guy just whipped it out on a Master Tier game on EU West. Some people just live dangerously. Like Mundo. So relative. Here, we have 5 points in Q now. We've got 2 points in E. We're probably going into the... You know, I'm trying to think out loud. Spirit Visage is probably the most logical, considering the Bard's damage, the Gragas, and the Ahri. But at the same time, you've got a Sivir and a Camille. Although Camille has some true damage capacity. So, the added healing from Spirit Visage will be huge. But you are seeing... Well, you are not. I have seen the rank 1 Mundo go with Frostfire and Warmogs. There was a huge post about the maths on itemization, but I'm not going to comment too much on it because I think we need to wait to see how things play out, how things feel. And obviously dynamic itemization is very important in terms of your resistances and at what point you have enough HP and then you need to stack resistances and so on. Why do they keep flashing in and using stuns on the Mundo with his passive up? In low elo, you guys are going to have so much fun. Mid elo, you guys are going to have so much fun with this champion. Because they're not going to pay attention to your passive. See, watch, 17 seconds. Ahri's dead. Oh, bleh, Misfortune is dead. Ahri's alive. Wukong is showing up. Monkey time. Mundo doesn't have his ult. He's just waiting to heal up. Yeah, Yuumi, join with me. Thank you. Cleaver. E. Cleaver. And obviously strategically use your W because of Grey Health. That's a little bit, you know, a little bit different this time because being able to recast it, you know, if you get bursted out and you have W active and you're going to die within the 4 seconds, you can use it to get some of that HP back rather than waiting out the 4 seconds of the W. You know, so that's important. You have to think a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. I like that. Good for late night gaming. So, jungling-wise, I like the fights here. Obviously, we do need to be careful. There, Triss going ham on the Mundo. He's got his passive up, as you can see here. It's like this. In the replay, you can see like this purple thing around his HP bar. Gragas just walks in and smites it. So Mundo says, you know what? I was not pleased about that. Now, Gragas doesn't have ult, right? So the Gragas cannot even body slam him. Oh, he's dead anyway. It's a bit greedy. So champions like Gragas that have double CC, mobilization, even if it's on his ult, are going to be okay to a degree if their passive is up. But if you're like Volibear and his passive is up, as soon as I use it, he just absorbs it, gets his medical satchel, ibuprofen infusion, and carries on, and I have nothing left to stop him. You can slow him, of course, but if he has his ult up, and you've got movement speed boost as well, and he decides to go Swifties, then you're doomed. Here we go with the Yuumi. Nice damages. Team fighting wise, you're looking to do the same thing, which is just really get in people's faces, run them down, disrupt, heal, sustain, do Omega level damage. And you need a lead for that, but at the same time, you do scale inherently well. I mean, you will reach the point where you get those fantasies. And I think all of classical old Mundo's strategies are still going to come through stronger. So he ults here for the movement speed boost because we want to chase down. This is really only the only reason for... Okay. Alright, so the Bard ult counts as an immobilization effect and does nothing. So this champion is going to require teams in organized play to really choose what CC they use on Mundo because it's gone. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. And you have to play around that accordingly. Misfortune goes down to Yoink the Dragon. They go a little too deep here, which is obviously not ideal. Mundo decides to ditch the Rift Herald and rotate to assist, which I think is a good play. I do think you don't want to ditch your team in this situation, but you also kind of don't want your team to be doing what they're doing. I just wish everyone went to Herald. You're going to easily Dragon as well as taking that Herald in this during this time. So he falls back. Vladimir is going straight to it anyway. I feel like we probably... You got to be careful though. Because Gragas is going to show up with Bard. So... Yeah, that's fine. The monk, the Wukong and the Yuumi have joined. The Animal Park have arrived. Okay, good job, Vlad. Yeah, we could have gone straight for it. We could have gone straight for it. And now you can just fall back to your blue quadrant. I don't really want to fight at this point if I'm Mundo. He has 1300 gold. He can finish his Spirit Visage. This is a bad fight. And I understand teams do this. Especially in Plat, Diamond, Low Elo. Why are you doing this? Push up the mid wave. Misfortune's pushing up bottom wave. Vlad's pushing up top wave. Your Mundo has a huge itemization spike with his Spirit Visage, which gives him added healing and shielding, and he has a Yuumi. And he's Mundo. So that's just hysterical. We definitely want to go into armor next. Yeah, Thormail. I mean, it'd be interesting. We need to kind of look at the new itemization for tanks in terms of the buffs that came through for Frozen Heart, Randuin's, when you really need Grievous. But here we've got some healing. I'm not really feeling Grievous as a sort of like must-buy in this situation. Randuin's is actually pretty good against crit teams as well, but there's not enough real crit here to justify it. At least at this stage. So Thormail just gives you a whole bunch of armor. Warmonks could be interesting. Once you have an armor itemization as well, if you don't want to rush it. I understand why you would not want to rush it. Resistances are good. Hello, have you been split pushing? She ults Gale forces, he ults and cleavers, and she just dies. That's the power of infection. Stop ulting him with this passive up. But it's a good example. If they're doing this in this elo, imagine in your elo. Yuumi, join. Okay, run. Turbo sprint. Disengage. Doesn't have the passive, so he has to flash. Passive up in 12, 10. Okay, so now it doesn't matter. He's trying to heal up as much as he can. He's doing, he survived a long time, but that's not... You want to kill and get out. But at the same time, Vladimir is just existing. He's existing. Macro-wise, this is fine. We're not too concerned. Let's jump forward a little bit, because they're obviously going to push the bottom lane tower. As one does when you have a dead person. Grump has no HP. Now he definitely has no HP. Hit this. Alright, a little bit of macro late game. Let's see the team fighting. I want to see some of that team fighting. There is a dragon up. We have the third one available. Flash is forced out. Okay. The Gragas combo. Ooh, the damage. His damage is insane. And he's full HP. Charmed up. We have 7 seconds on passive. What's the scaling on that? Is there any? No, there's no scaling, right? No. 45 to 15 seconds. There is actually, okay. So that gets worse and worse the later the game goes on for everyone. It's up at the moment. Charmed. Okay. Alright. Don't overpush here. Too many times people overpush here. Coaching sessions, whatnot. You know, Gragas is up in 2, Civ is up in 7. If you can kill people before they show up and remain healthy, it's fine. But you don't want to die as a team. See, now it's getting risky, right? Their whole team's up. She gonna die? No, she lives. And now you all die and you're just gonna give away things. So, ult activated. Doesn't have his passive. Locked in time and now he's dead. So, multiple times you've seen the Mundo push where he shouldn't have. He pleased it, but he shouldn't have been there. Right, so that gives them a dragon. They go running into the red side jungle as Mundo has respawned. I don't know why. You know, I don't even need to rewind it. I'm not going to rewind it. They took the dragon, chased the blue team into their jungle, didn't time the backs, the ults, they all died for it, which is going to give a Baron away. So let's see and observe Mundo's Baron taking ability. Easy. Always pushing mid lane. The no inhib being down is really good for them. Very nice. Wonder if there's a huge throw. Looks like there's a big throw. I kind of just want to see how Mundo scales here. Alright, so we're going the Warden's Mail. So now he's decided, you know what? There's a little bit of crit. Can also Frozen Heart. I think Warmogs is very good as well overall. I do think that should be an item that most tanks will look at buying now. Especially in these later games where there's poke or there's fights that you can get caught out in and you just want to run around and heal up. Camille goes deep. Yuumi presses the button. I mean, they can you imagine this team if they had Ocean Soul? Just FF. Why even play it? Mundo, Vlad, Yuumi with Ocean Soul. Just makes me cry. I can't believe that would ever be a thing. Inhib down. Rotate top lane. Push this wave. Don't get yoinked. Immobilization's triggered. Now he's got 20 seconds on that. So that'll get down to 50. See the gray health? You see there? The gray health that he had? Right? But he's getting bursted out. So there's nothing he can do. Man, you just want to rotate top lane, push the wave. You don't want to die. You don't want to die. I don't know why they keep getting caught out. These are just bad angles. You just give them the ability to combo you, which is exactly what the Gragas, Bard, and Camille want to do. And Sivir just does so much damage at this point. Alright, so. That's unfortunate. Mundo. This is fine. You've got pressure in the mid lane. You let it push up. I don't think anyone should be too concerned. He dodges it to keep that active. I think it's very big for the Gragas ult as well. There you go. Got the flash E. Picked up his sack of healing. That's a free dragon. So it's good. Very nice again. And we're reaching the stage where the cooldown is getting nuts, right? The moment it's 20 seconds. It's by level spike. So when you hit 16, it will go down to 15 for the final ascension. 20 is at 13, I believe. Right. Pushing bottom wave. No wave really to catch. Camille's dead. She has TP though. Sivir's mid lane. She can cut you off. Wukong pushes it to the top side. Once again, please be careful. I'm not really interested in too much of the throws that go around here. So I might skip forward just to sort of a late game fight, but we'll see what happens. It's nice to see a little bit of macro in the late game though. I mean, some of the games we've covered recently just don't have a lot of macros, just outstatting. Here they still have to be cautious, just purely because of the wave clear. I mean, what? Just because of the wave clear and the team fighting of the enemy team. We do want that Drake Soul if possible. I'm not sure if there's just a timeline glitch or if they really get nothing. You want to wait for mid lane in these situations, ladies and gentlemen, please. The mid lane's going to push. Just don't do anything until this pushes. But the problem is Sivir can just deal with the wave so quickly, and this wave as well. So you really lose a lot of pressure. There's also a Baron up. So you could have easily left someone with TP, but he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. I'm curious as to how they lose the Baron, though. Because people want to reset. He's got almost 2k. So we went back to base. He's got the Randuins now. There's obviously enough crit to justify it. He looks like he's going into the Stone Plate. Perhaps you could justify this being a Warmogs instead. But you see the Grievous Wounds healing reduced, excuse me, is almost 1,000. Whether that played any real part in the team fight, we'd have to look at the actual stats. It does do something against their combo. It's just not like he's against a Rost and an Aatrox, you know? Right, we have a team fight here. If someone gets, you know, charmed and put in a bad position, like the Yuumi and the Wukong, then you don't really have as much power as other tanks. You know, you can disrupt, you can chase down, and you can get in the way, and you can sustain and become unkillable for an enemy ADC. I mean, that's really our goal here. Our peeling is just more like meat sack in front of the ADC, but that's not really how you want to play it. Sejuanis, Zacs, Ornns, Volibears will have a much better time, even Warwicks, at actually peeling. So they get the free Baron there because the Monkey gets caught out. The Vladimir couldn't really do anything. And now they have basically taken nothing else. So, at this point with Baron, they can easily look to shove towers. Be very careful if you shove bottom lane because they will engage. He should rotate here. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. So they push it out. I don't want to make this video too long over things that really don't show us anything. He's 10, 8, and 12 at this point. Nothing really happens other than just waiting and stalling for the next Baron. They did get the Dragon Soul. That didn't show up on the timer, so. Sivir pushing bottom lane. These games you should not... He keeps ulting him. These games you should feel a little bit of stress, but there's no real need. You have a lot of control here. And as you can see, he sold the Bramble Vest as well for that Stone Plate anyway, so. Early buy didn't really do much. They're going to have to give away the Baron most likely, but basically the core point and the goal at this stage is don't freak out when they take Barons, especially if you are a hyper scaling team composition. If you win one fight, you can win the game. You know, even with the Baron. I would not be too concerned. He ulted to try gap close. I don't know why. He was never getting there on time. Elder Dragon is the question. Now, it's not actually showing up for them, so we can check the timer here. 121 for Elder. So if you get that, you win the game. Let's fast forward, shall we? Right, here we go. This is peak Mundo. Now, he's actually gone for the Tiamat. You could argue go for that Tiamat early for your clears, especially if you want to try different builds. Like the Scion kind of thing, full tank. I do think that a straight up Warmogs would be absolutely hysterical. Although he already, I mean, 3,333 HP is respectable. Wave is pushing on the bottom side. Bard is caught out, has to tunnel away with his flash. You can just chase him down. They're on the Elder Dragon already. He's forced to use his ultimate. The Mundo now can do what Mundo wants to do, which is, look at this. Chase down and zone. Because if you walk near him, he will kill you. And you won't be able to kill him. That's just the Bard inting. But I do think they win that fight anyway. I mean, the Mundo just did a great job. Just run face first. And they'll win the game from this. So I don't know what the Bard was doing. Burn damage? Nah. Unfortunate. So there you go. Really nice champion, well reworked. He plays in the exact same spirit, just with modern abilities, modern variations. Itemization is something left for us to kind of figure out and crack, but I think this is a good core example of what you would actually want to build. I do think a Frostfire is slightly better. Do consider the Warmogs to go with your Stone Plate to become absolutely huge. A little bit messy in the mid and the late game, but Mundo really can control all phases of the game. The win rate is low because people are figuring it out. Get your clears well down and figured out, you know, nice and fast and efficient, and you should have no issue seeing yourself some wins on the new Doctor. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you did enjoy. New video on the main channel as well about bad habits and, you know, needing to fix that. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. Mundo!